Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to what's probably going to be the last Kaiju stream, or at least this Kaiju stream. Welcome, Cheese, and welcome, Chase. Hello.
Hello, Nemo. Hello, Cheese.
So, we got a few issues that I would like to address here. The main being this sort of jagged edge. It's creating a strange rhythm here. And I am not a fan of it, so let me see. Maybe I can flip it and see if I can find something to modify. Actually, let me pull the reference. I'm gonna use that same artist as a Finnish reference, and in general, Dual Masters. Because I like Dual Masters. How are you doing, Emperor of Cheese, by the way?
He says hello there.
What happened to Yu-Gi-Oh! With the Yu-Gi-Oh! Match yesterday, by the way?
I ended up winning and beating the game, finally.
Wow, that didn't take long. Not a long game. It's kind of refreshing compared to normal Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, it's easy. You just play the cards.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, you can't use the mechanics of that game in normal Yu-Gi-Oh! It wouldn't make sense, right? Especially like the combining stuff.
Yeah.
It's like I can combine any two cards and make something. Which, I mean, I like it because people say it's illogical, but it's not really true. It's like, if you take a fire creature and a beast creature and you combine them to make Flame Cerberus, I mean, that makes sense. It's a fiery animal. So there is a logic to the combining, but...
yeah, I mean, it's pretty basic, I guess you could say. Overall, it's not like it's got complicated or complex rules. So, still, very fun. Very fun. So, okay. Hello,
it's a lot
Casual.
more fun with the randomizer.
Yeah. Yeah, because you got the ultimate.
I got Blue Eyes Ultimate and Geek Guardian.
So it's kind of like cheating. It's just very good luck. Okay, I'm gonna do this on another layer. I'm gonna take this. See if I can move it.
Yeah, I think changing the body vents or whatever they're supposed to be and the mouth, like the colors, was a really good idea. It's a nice contrast to the explosions.
Yeah, better than before, surely. Although I do have to, I don't know. Yeah, okay, so lower spikes are probably better. So on this side, although I don't want to create too much of a slope that goes that way. So let's see. I'm gonna grab some of the sky so it can just move it ever so slightly. Okay, that's a little better. Get rid of some of this. And this. Wait, what did I have? Okay. Probably, like, looking at these cards I've got here, I probably have to increase the saturation of some areas, I think, and the cartooniness of others. Like, I think the edge on the now right side arm is not great because it's too slim. Like, it's too thin, so I gotta make it a little thicker, probably.
Thick.
Wait, what was that? You got cut halfway through a sentence.
No, I was remembering when Trump said thick.
Oh.
Have you ever seen that GIF of him doing that?
I might have. Yes, I think.
Where he goes thick.
Yeah, actually, I think I did. I think I did.
Thick.
I think I did. Okay. This is a little better. Let me flip it back. Yeah. Okay. Just looking at it. The tail kind of gets lost in the background a little bit. The more I look at it, the less I like it. But that's fine. It would have been better to have something. Oops. Something like
Hello,
here.
Obi-Wan.
What?
Is that Obi-Wan in the background?
Oh, this? Yes.
He was on screen for a little bit there.
Yeah. So like I feel like this area would need something. It's like the composition is a little unbalanced right now, but so either I make the tail a little darker. But I kind of like the atmospheric fade it has. So I don't know. It kind of bothers me when it's turned this way. Although I should have, because the airplanes are creating a gravitational pull in the scene. So it's like there's a lot going on this side, and then this is kind of dead, which is not necessarily bad, but I do feel like this emptiness is not very good because the planes are going here technically, so it's kind of leading the eye away from the picture. That does bother me.
Yeah, like the Lamoon card from yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's really unfortunate when they make design choices like that, where it's like, you want to focus on the body of the creature because you want to get the whole idea of the creature in your mind, but then whenever you look at the artwork, it's like you immediately go to the bottom left corner because of the way it's drawn.
Yeah. And right now, that's what's happening with these damn planes. So, okay, let me just chip away at some of these details, and then I'll see what to do. I might even do it off stream if I can't figure it out. Here. Oh, come on, Photoshop.
Would it help if you put some distance between the planes? Because they're like almost right next to each other.
I don't know. I mean, given the fact that I already at this point trying to do a single thing, I can try. Obviously, there's going to be a shadow there, but I don't know. I think I could do something like this. These are all things that should be fixed in the very beginning of the painting process, but because I am impatient, and also because I'm streaming and I don't want to keep people bored for a long time while I think about various compositional choices, these things happen.
Yeah, that's the hard thing. That's why I thought about doing streams of like me working on the game or working on assets, but I can't imagine that it would be too fun if I'm just sitting there quietly trying to figure out what to code or...
Yeah, right. I try to talk usually and explain what I'm doing, but doing so just makes me take worse decisions, like overall, design-wise. So,
well, it hurts my concentration too.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to concentrate on one thing while also talking and following chats and whatnot, and banning the Emperor cheese, stuff like that. I mean, I could do this. It's kind of visible. I can blur it a little bit. It is a little better, I think. It is a little better, but still, there's still that. Yeah, it is better. I could even Um, yeah, it's still empty on that side. I don't know if I can fix it at this point because I just, for some reason, I didn't notice it that much. Probably because I had the tail as a little darker form. If I can try that, let's see. I'm gonna use what a brightness contrast. Invert it, and then paint white. Actually, let me do like brightest. So I can see it. It's not gonna be this way, but at least I can see it. I like the idea of the tail going into the distance, so obviously there is some atmosphere here going on. It does, like, it being darker obviously helps frame the composition a little better, which was the whole point of the tail. Yeah?
Never mind. I shouldn't talk about that on stream.
Okay.
When you said atmosphere, it reminded me of something
Okay.
related to the Nintendo Switch.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it's, we didn't say atmosphere. It's nothing related to the Nintendo Switch.
Nor
Nothing that I use, of course. Anyway. I actually do not own a Nintendo Switch from now. So I've never heard about atmospheres or golden leaves or stuff like that. Ever. They're nice words though. Nice words. Alright, yeah, it's gonna be this way, and I'm gonna...
I've never heard of RCM mode.
No, I don't know what that is. Don't talk to me about RCM jigs or something like that, because I never heard about it. In fact, I don't even know what RCM means.
This is a if you know, you know conversation right now.
Okay. Here's before, and here's after. I think it's a little better. It's not great. I still think the composition is a little off. I regret this composition a little bit, yes, or considerably, a considerable bit. But let's see if I can maybe move parts of the wing. Make it different. I don't know. Just an experiment. It's not an experiment. Just so that I do not have that strange...
I mean, it would be really hard to do now, but if anything, I would have like taken the tail in the background and curved it in a little more, like towards the planes.
I can do that. That's not too complicated. Let's see. I do feel like it needs a little bit of a higher wing on this side, though. Honestly.
Yeah, it does feel a bit lopsided.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do it. So let's see how I can integrate it. It's going right on the spike. Perfect. I'm gonna have to move it again. Maybe rotate it a little bit. Let me take this again and move this part. Oh, by the way, I was watching Batman vs Superman earlier today when I was eating. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. I just think some choices are highly questionable. But I was expecting worse from the little bits I had seen before. Honestly, I actually like Ben Affleck as Batman. I don't mind.
Oh, he's good as Batman. I like him a lot.
Yeah, the movie is a little strange. There are several things that I could question, especially the choice of Alfred. I think it's a very bad casting decision. I don't know. They look like they got the same age, him and Bruce Wayne. So I don't know. We've chosen.
Well, Jeremy Irons is a pretty good actor, though
He's
it didn't
good.
seem like he cared about the movie all that much.
Right.
Which
Yeah.
I
It
understand.
doesn't seem in the role, and honestly, again, I would not have chosen him as Alfred because Alfred should feel a little more old, wise British man or something. It doesn't feel like a butler, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm not very big on Jesse Eisenberg's performance as Lex Luthor. I think
Same.
it's very out of character for Lex Luthor, who's
Oh,
usually
completely.
pretty. He's not like a wacky, insane
No, it's
millennial.
completely. Usually pretty cold. Yeah, at least in my
He's
imagination.
he's pretty cold and intelligent and calculating, and I don't know. I felt like his performance didn't really make much sense. He's almost more like the Joker than Lex Luthor in the movie.
Yeah.
Very chaotic and
Yeah.
insane.
He is insane. It feels like insane, at least. So. That is too bad. And I don't know. Some parts feel like the dreams. I've not finished it yet, but the sort of dreams that Bruce has, where he kills people, they seem weird. They feel weird to me because Batman does not kill. So I get it. They're dreams, but at the same time, they don't seem well integrated with the movie. I don't know.
Yeah, they don't fit into the overall pattern of the movie and its story at
Yeah.
all.
Like they're completely different. Like there's literally nothing in them to do with the actual movie. So I don't know. Questionable choices. Still, again, not as bad as I thought it would be for now, at least.
Yeah, I mean everything involving Batman in the movie is great. Like even the opening sequence, like you understand Batman's motivation.
Yeah.
He sees Superman fighting Zod from Man of Steel, and they're causing all of this destruction, even though Superman is, trying to help the city and everything, and trying to stop Zod from terraforming the Earth or whatever. It doesn't change the fact that there was still a lot of destruction, and Superman has, frankly, a right to be pissed at him for what happened, and someone he loved was killed because of their fight. So his entire motivation makes sense.
Absolutely.
If anything, the person whose motivation doesn't make sense in the movie is Lex Luthor, which is never very clear to me. Like
yeah, right. Like why is he against Superman? Like why is that? He has literally no motivation at all. He just seems crazy, like literally insane. So I don't know. Wasted opportunity. Really. Because they could have made.
Are you watching? Are you watching the original theatrical cut or the director's cut?
It doesn't say director's cut. It's just on Netflix. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. I think the director's cut is better. I mean, it's obviously longer, but it does fill in some gaps a little bit. But there's still a lot of questionable choices in the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and sometimes the acting just feels awkward. Like when there is the bombing at the chamber. I don't even know where exactly that is.
Yeah, Congress.
The Congress.
I've got a lot to say about that.
I'm like, what is going on here? Seriously? Like, I was very perplexed, honestly.
Right. Well, that scene, because you think that the setup for that scene is that, so they take Superman to Congress to basically question him, right, about his activities. And then they have the bombing scene happen. So the building explodes.
Right.
And then you think that the whole point is like they're going to say that Superman came there and killed everybody, right? Like, how dare you question me? We're going to blame him. But then they immediately say that there was a bomb.
Right.
And it exploded inside, and Superman had nothing to do with it. And it's like, well, wait, first of all, how would you know that? And second of all, like, isn't the point of the scene that Superman is going to be blamed for this so that people would hate him more? But now you're immediately taking away that tension. So what was the point of the scene?
Nothing. I don't know. In any case, I just found it awkward. Like, so at first I thought the June what the senator was being poisoned because she stopped talking and she was like babbling a little bit like, hey, what's going on here? But then there was an explosion. It's like, so what was that for? Nothing. Because what was the point of making, like, she was worried, or she was what? Why did she stop all of a sudden?
Well,
Did she realize it was going to be a bomb or something?
No, I know what was going on, and I think it's an issue with the execution. So if you remember, while she's sitting there, there's like a glass on where she's
looking
sitting,
at it,
and she had a line earlier in the movie. It was something like, she was talking to Lex Luthor, and she said something like, "Don't piss in my glass and tell me it's water," or something like that.
Yeah.
And so she had a glass, and that's what was in the glass. So she knew that Lex Luthor had set something up there, but it was very poorly executed.
Yeah, I thought it was something related to it. I did remember that scene about the glass, but yeah, it just didn't feel right because she should have probably acted differently. I don't know. It just felt very underwhelming at that point because it was like, oh, she's being poisoned or something. Because if she realizes that he has done something, it does nothing. I don't know. Yeah, I just didn't feel very good about that.
Yeah.
Obviously, because she doesn't see him there, and she's like, okay, he's up to something. That I can get, but the whole, okay, I'm gonna stop talking and like I am being poisoned, because that's totally the feeling I had. Like, she didn't seem concerned. She seemed like sick. All of a sudden, to me at least. So I don't know.
Yeah, the implication was supposed to be she saw the glass and she remembered what Lex Luthor told her earlier in the movie. But there was like a huge gap between that, and 30,000 things happened, so you probably forgot about that. And also their conversation, it probably wasn't that clear unless you were paying like real close attention.
Well, I was cooking while watching it, so probably. But yeah, again, I did remember that they had a conversation and so on, but for some reason, I just couldn't think about that when I saw that scene. I literally thought she was being poisoned.
It's really weird because even their conversation, because that would get lost, what they specifically said, because in the conversation, Lex Luthor has this very sort of, I don't know how to put it. It's like very lofty dialogue, and I think it's supposed to explain his motivation. And he's talking about, like, there are gods and angels come from below, from the real devils come from above, not below, things like that. I'm like, okay, I understand what you're saying symbolically, but not literally. Is this like your explanation that Superman is a devil and you want to kill him because he's a devil? Is that what you're trying to say in this scene?
Really insane.
It just wasn't clear to me.
Yeah.
And there's just other stuff that I didn't really like. In the beginning of the movie, so you remember when Lois Lane and that reporter guy are in the Middle East or whatever, and they're gonna do that interview, and then like the one reporter, I think they said he was like an FBI agent or something.
Something like that. Or CIA,
and they shot him and killed him.
Yeah.
So that reporter that got killed was Jimmy Olsen, which, if you know Superman comics, that's like the guy that works with Clark Kent in the office. So they just like brought in Jimmy Olsen, a very well-known character from Superman comics, and just killed him off immediately like that. I was like, that is a very odd decision. Why make it Jimmy Olsen and not just some random like reporter guy working for the FBI or whatever? I don't know.
Yeah, but even there, like, every time, okay, both in that and the dream scene, honestly, I have a hard time figuring out what's going on exactly. Like, it's like at some point someone starts shooting someone else without apparent reason, and it just happens again and again. And it usually in movies it's pretty clear, like, okay, there's this side and they're shooting this other side, but I kind of had trouble figuring out what was the whole dynamic. Like, I could not literally figure out what was going on. Like, okay, are these soldiers attacking someone, or is it the contractors, or it was just not that clear to me when I watched it. And later they did explain it, but I don't think that it should need explanation. Maybe it's just me not following it well, but I just had this impression like it was not well executed to the point that I couldn't tell people apart, pretty much.
Yeah, it's kind of a confusing movie at times. And I'm not a huge, like, the movie is Batman v Superman, and I'm not like a huge fan of the fact that they kind of shoehorned in Wonder Woman into the movie. I get what they're doing. They're trying to set up future movies, but it's like when you throw her in and then she obviously appears at the end of the movie because the movie takes a turn and things like that. I don't know. It just felt like the focus went away from Batman and Superman to, wow, here's Wonder Woman, and now we're setting up a Justice League movie, that kind of thing.
Yeah, even just the fact that she is there and then Batman finds out about her. I don't know. That becomes something else. It's not just Batman versus Superman anymore. So.
The actual fight between Batman and Superman is pretty over the top and great, though. I loved it.
Yeah, I watched before in the clips years ago. Batman with the like super heavy metal suit.
Yeah, his suit looks awesome. Like the body armor suit that he wears that changes his voice and everything. It's great. Even his intro in the movie was pretty good. That scene where like they're busting like the sex trafficking thing or something, and like they're investigating the warehouse, and then the camera goes up and you just see him in the corner, like in the shadows there. That was awesome.
Yeah, that's kind of that made me think. That's the feeling that that's how Batman would probably feel, like very creepy in real life, because it's supposed to instill fear. So.
Well, that's his whole thing, is he hides in the shadows and he uses the darkness to his advantage.
Yeah.
It was very in character for him.
Absolutely, yeah. And again, I reevaluated my previous evaluation of Ben Affleck as Batman, because I honestly liked it. The performance so far. He's good. I think the last movie I had watched with him was Daredevil, so it's been a long time. That was a very long time ago. So.
Hey, student, welcome.
Hi there. Wait, I don't see him.
It's on YouTube.
Oh God, it's true. Yes. Okay, I guess it's stuck. Yeah, because I didn't go to the chat, so it should update now. Hopefully. My apologies.
Geez, we're talking about Batman v Superman.
Yeah. Batman. Although I still like Bale's rendition of Superman. Batman. Not Superman.
I was gonna say, have you seen Justice League?
Parts of it. What bothers me is Cyborg of that movie, like how it's made. I don't know. It kind of feels like a cheap movie with that character in, and even Flash. I mean, I don't know. Wonder Woman and Batman and Superman are kind of okay, but the way that, to me at least, Cyborg feels is very strange. It's like I don't know.
Yeah, if anyone listening wants to watch the Justice League, I highly recommend watching the Snyder cut and not the theatrical cut. The Snyder cut is way longer, but it's totally worth it, and it's much better than the theatrical cut. It's actually kind of crazy how much they cut from the movie and how much the things they cut develop the characters too. Cyborg is a big one, but so is the Flash. Because in the original theatrical cut of the movie, Flash is like really a non-factor in the entire movie. And they threw in like the sequence near the end, like where Superman is carrying a building full of people, and then Flash is like helping a family in a truck or something. And so he's like just a total afterthought, and he seems like weak compared to the other heroes. And the Snyder cut of the movie, the Flash is like the ultimate hero of the movie. It's really strange.
Interesting. They changed their mind or something?
Well, they just cut so much from the theatrical cut because the Snyder cut is 4 hours, and then the theatrical cut is like an hour and 50 minutes. So there's like so much cut from the movie, like over 2 hours
15?
material. No, an hour and 50.
Oh, 50.
Which is still like 2 hours and 10 minutes cut from the original film that they created.
Yeah.
There's like a whole story arc in the Snyder cut with Cyborg and his dad that isn't in the theatrical cut.
Mm-hmm.
And then everything involving Steppenwolf was changed for the theatrical cut, and like the theatrical cut doesn't have Darkseid or anything like that in it.
So there's Darkseid in the Snyder cut.
Oh yeah.
I might check it out. I might check it out.
Yeah, I totally agree, student. Snyder cut is definitely worth watching. It's a long movie, but it's actually worthwhile. It's almost depressing because of how the DC universe has fallen apart a bit. But like, if they had kept that same tone and ideas from the Snyder cut, it would have worked out.
Well,
a
have
lot
they
better,
done
I think.
anything recently anymore?
I mean, they're still making movies, but it all feels disconnected. It doesn't feel like a cohesive universe to me right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, I gave up on the Marvel ones, so.
Well, yeah, as soon as Endgame came around, I haven't really watched any of the new Marvel ones.
That was the last stop for me. I
There's no
tried
point. Yeah.
watching something, but
To me, that was the end of the story.
No, it's called the Endgame for a reason. So, it really is.
I wasn't really a big fan of how they handled Endgame. Like,
Yeah, some things are-
I enjoyed Infinity War a lot. I thought the ending was great. And then, like, Endgame came around. It's like, yeah, you know what? Let's use time travel and undo everything that happened. I'm like, that's kind of lazy.
Yeah, it is. And dangerous, also. Handling time travel and various timelines is not recommended because it opens up a whole series of paradoxes that are very difficult to unravel. It can be done, but I felt like the explanations they were giving were a little poor.
Well, I thought like the opening to Endgame was great. I love that they just showed up on the planet where Thanos was and they just kill him immediately. I was hoping that was all Thanos was going to be in the movie, was just him getting killed off in the beginning. That would be great.
It would have been.
And even Thor's line of "this time I went for the head." That is just like a great callback to Infinity War.
It was, yeah. It was. But oh well, we still get Tom Cruise movies, so.
I did like Fat Thor, even though people were complaining it was fat shaming. I thought he was funny.
It was funny, although I didn't exactly like him as a character. Like, okay, like, well, yeah, I don't know. It was funny though. I didn't really care about fat shaming. Also, because I'm not fat.
Yeah.
I guess. But it was an interesting idea. Certainly different from anything else.
Well, I understood why it happened too, because the whole point is like they basically lost in the first movie,
lost, yeah.
and so he kind of just gave up and he's like, I'm not going to do this hero thing anymore. So he's just like depressed and eating chips on his couch. It's like, okay, so I understand his motivation.
Oh yeah,
His motivation is he doesn't have any anymore.
pretty much. let's see. Assessing this again. Let me turn it once more. Okay. Looking a little better. Kind of feels like the wings are coming from those rocky thing spikes, which is fine. I don't mind. There isn't really much left except maybe getting rid of some. Yes, some of this.
Bees and student are blessing each other in the chat right now.
Okay. That is interesting.
Nemo, as a father, have you seen the Paw Patrol movie?
Not the movie, no. I've seen countless episodes.
Okay.
Always the same, usually, every day. The exact same.
Well, Sam has kids, and he was telling me that he watched the Paw Patrol movie just to, entertain them, and he thought it was actually a pretty good movie for a kids movie. So,
I'm gonna put my...
didn't know if you've seen it or not. He apparently says that Chase is the best character in the movie because the movie's kind of about him. So,
Chase is the blue one, isn't it?
he's the cop dog. Yeah.
Yeah, the blue one. Actually, it's funny because my mom gave my son a figurine of Chase
Yeah.
for his birthday a couple years ago. And I didn't even know what it was. I mean, I had heard about Paw Patrol, but and then my son started wanting to watch it, and so I had to. The most annoying thing is just having to watch the same thing over and over and over and over again, because for some reason kids don't get tired
Yeah.
of watching the same thing, or they forget immediately. I don't know. It's okay. I'm gonna introduce him to Top Gun. Not right away though. Probably not now. Probably not now. Okay, I'm basically going around the silhouette here, trying to separate the background elements very generically from what goes on in the front, like I did there already. Kind of makes the figure pop a little bit. It's a bit of a trick. It's not really supposed to happen. It's not a physical thing or aspect. It's just illustrative knowledge.
hack.
Wait, what? What happened?
I said it's an art hack.
Yeah, it's a hack. Pretty cheap hack. Pretty cheap hack. But everyone uses it, so at least in Japanese illustrations, it's a pretty common thing. It's like introducing. It's like the atmosphere that I introduce in Grand Blue looking illustrations. Pretty much the same. Pretty much the same thing. I'm currently looking at some dual masters stuff, so that's why sometimes I get quiet. Right here. Yeah, we're very close to completion, but we still have to adjust. Actually, I'll move it now. There you go. Okay. Now it's one single layer, and I should go to filter, sharp mask, 73. Okay, let's help a little. Planes might actually not need that, so let me duplicate it. Try again. Okay, and then I'm gonna remove it from some areas because planes really need any more sharpening. Yeah, they don't. Already pretty sharp. So make sure this is being removed. The sky doesn't really matter. It's clouds, so whether it's sharp or not does not make a difference.
Hey Jay on YouTube, welcome.
Oh, hello. What's up? Trying to finish this thing. It's almost done. I'd say it's basically done. I'm just adding a couple things.
Jay, your illustrations are pretty cool. I like them.
He posted in the Discord, right?
Yeah, then the art share.
Yeah.
He does a lot of the actual paper ones.
Yeah. Those are very cool, and hats off to you for using actual paper. It's not very common nowadays. So maybe...
All right, Cheese.
See you later, Cheese, or tomorrow, or never. Never. Never.
Creepy,
Yeah, one
the
thing
Emperor
that...
of Cheese.
Yeah?
I said creepy Emperor of Cheese.
Very creepy Emperor of Cheese. Again, certainly one thing that the Christopher Nolan movies had over this one is Alfred. Because the actor who plays Alfred in the Bale movies is just so good. I like him so much. He's very Butler-ish. I forgot his name, man. I can't remember it.
Michael Caine.
Yeah. I guess. I really don't remember it. So I take it as
he's great.
it is correct. But yeah, I really like him a lot.
He's in lots of Nolan's films. He's in Inception, Interstellar, all of the Dark Knight movies, of course. He's great.
Yeah. He's really good.
He was also in Austin Powers and Goldmember as Austin's father, I believe. Yeah.
I don't remember that. But it's been so long since I watched an Austin Powers movie. Very long, like 20 years. That's an interesting take. Like the whole Austin Powers thing. Very
What, the
alternative.
movies?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're a parody of James Bond.
Really?
I'm assuming that's what you mean.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a very interesting type of comedy. Very interesting.
Well, there's a lot of jokes from those movies that stick with me. I still love in the first movie when they're doing the scene where they're going to kill Austin, and they decide to close the room, and Scotty is telling Dr. Evil, he's like, "Why don't we watch him die? So that way we know he's dead,
Right.
and that way try to come back and get revenge." And Dr. Evil's like, "Scott, you really don't know how things work, do you?"
Yeah. It's kind of breaking the fourth wall. Pretty much. That's true though, like why not watching the hero die? Why? It's
that happens in a lot of James Bond movies, like
right.
Goldmember.
That would make sense, right? Would make
Goldfinger, I
sense
should say. Goldmember is the Austin Powers movie.
yeah. Iconic movies of a bygone era. Nowadays, it would be considered very offensive to make such a movie. So
Oh yeah.
probably too offensive for the very sensitive modern audiences.
Especially the joke in the one movie with the Japanese twins. And one of the girls is named Fook Yu and the other is Fook Me. You couldn't do that joke nowadays.
Probably not. Korean map. Alright, let's see. Let's see if I can inject some of this. I could even reverse it. Oop. Negative. Maybe some overlay. Not too much, just a bit of a color tint. I feel like it feels a little more cohesive this way. Yeah, it's a little better. It's very gritty and dark. Certainly not too cartoony look. Excessively cartoony look, so I like it. I like how it's looking. Although I wonder if all those lights in the body are maybe taken away from the head. Huh? Nah, probably not. Let's leave it now. I'll try another gradient map in case we've got time. I tried Tret's color maps. Some of these are kind of interesting, like this is pretty neat. That's a pretty neat effect. Jeez.
Yeah, I like the one with the red on the body there.
Just trying to have fun. It's interesting. It's an interesting effect that gives a complete picture, basically, because it takes the darkest darks and makes them red, which is very odd. Actually, cannot work.
Looks like you're doing an X-ray of the body, and it's like you can see the vascular system inside of it.
Yeah, it can be used for a lot of things, like not just changing the overall colors, but if you were to take this and now mask some areas out, I could add all that red stuff on the base picture. Like if I do this now, just for getting rid of all the rest of the color, I can just use the regular picture and those red things, like literally just those. It's like all look weird, obviously. It's not thought out, but I mean, gradient maps are very interesting because they can be used for a lot of strange effects. Overall, let's try something else. Or black and white, or reverse. Oh, that's interesting. Let's see what happens when I... This should be a 0 point where everything is completely gray, and then it inverts. I could even use the Photoshop ones, but they're kind of... Killing my eyes. Look at this. God, it's like everything is on fire.
It's like the apocalypse. That's kind of cool, actually.
It is. Maybe I can integrate a little bit of that. Base one. You know, I kind of like it. I might even keep this for the final. I know this is too much, obviously. It's too red, but maybe a muted version of it. don't know. It's a little monochromatic, so it obviously defeats all the color work that I've done. Like versus this, it's just a little adjustments. Probably what I'm going to use. I do like the effect it gives, though. Maybe it's a spray. It is very apocalyptic.
Yeah, you could post both. You could have the original and then like the apocalyptic version.
Yeah, in any case, it's adjustable layers, so. It's cool. Let's take a man. It's cool. Photoshop doesn't do well in terms of being a painting software, but it does apply very interesting photo effects like post-processing. That is definitely interesting. I like the apocalyptic one. Let's try something else. Again, base, slightly fixed, which is probably what I'm going to use. Probably.
That was kind of my experience with it. It's like it's not very good if you want to just do straight up drawing, but if you want to do like editing or filters or anything like that, it's pretty good at that.
Yeah, it is, really. Oh. That's not bad. Also not bad. Very muted. Grayer. So the beauty of these gradient maps is that because they are color harmonies, the whole picture is gonna become way better integrated. Like all the various parts of the pictures will become very well integrated once you use it. It's like using a limited palette, basically. Obviously, this is 100% integrated, which is too much, but even just a fraction of it. Could even make things more dramatic. Maybe too dramatic. I don't know what's the point of the dissolve filter or color, layer style, whatever it is.
What?
Layer mode.
The grain filter?
Dissolve. Yeah, this one, the grainy. Could be useful to add something on top, maybe just a little bit, but it's always very stark.
It kind of makes sense if it had like a sepia color tone, like if you want to do like old-timey footage as a picture, but yeah, otherwise
It's just it looks a little bad overall.
It doesn't really make sense as a picture. Like, I understand, like, if you're doing a video and you wanted to give it, like, an old-timey effect, you add a grain filter over it, but, like, you don't really take still shots of grainy footage, I guess.
Right.
I don't know.
See, just with the mask, it's pretty interesting, like, in terms of the effect you can get. Because if I leave it 100%, like that, these parts, like the pincers here, they tend to pop a little more. Not necessarily gonna use it, just experimenting a little bit. It could even just be used for the sky or the background or whatever. I'm probably gonna go with this here. It is definitely interesting to add certain effects to things. This does make it pop a little more. But obviously, again, in the end, you do need a base picture to work with. Wait, are we getting messages from the chat very late?
I was wondering about that. I don't know. Maybe student just saw Cheese's messages.
Okay.
I definitely think there's something weird going on with the chats and viewers, though.
Well,
I was
yeah, that
having.
wouldn't
I was,
make much sense. Yeah, it's just
yeah.
it's not enough, probably. What is shown is probably not enough.
Because that was happening to me yesterday during my stream.
It's gonna be restream.
Because I knew that you and then Cheese and then myself were all in the chat, but then there's like the viewer count only said one person or something. It's like it didn't make any sense.
Yeah. Oh, together. There you go. That's a strange effect. No, this is definitely not gonna work. Let's try something else. Just playing around here in the time I have left. Because honestly, I don't think I should edit the picture more than I already did. I don't think I should change anything at this point. And whatever I do, okay, I could maybe change the color of the crystals, but I don't really mind. I might actually, I could edit that out. But if we do this, probably not going to be visible. Yeah, it's fine. It's just going to be a different color. It's okay. At some point, you have to let the picture go. Just run the way it is.
It's like letting your kids go to college. You just gotta let them fly on their own.
Yeah, and crash. Some of these are very interesting. I got these from because I bought Trent's tutorials a couple years ago. So these are not. It says 2016. I bought them in 2018 probably. So they're not new things. Oh god, this is so creepy. This is very creepy actually. What if I invert this? Yeah, it's like a hell scene of some sort. This is the one we had previously.
This is America 2023.
Yeah, or 4, maybe give it a year and see how things go. I don't know what this is.
I don't like the green one.
Yeah, I mean the basic gradients are probably the best. They're not that basic in the sense that it goes from cold to warm.
Yeah.
So there's that in all these gradients, not all of them, but some of them, I guess, at least the most successful ones. And he uses that as a color base for the picture. Oh, this is not bad either. Kind of post-apocalyptic Fallout.
Yeah, I was thinking like a nuclear vibe.
Yeah, with the green one, totally. It totally does. Probably just gonna go with the slightly edited one. I mean, all three could work, I guess. It's just a generic photo filter. It does its job though. Imagine this on a photo, an actual photo, then you understand the basic use of the gradient map. It's also used in movies, by the way, especially Matrix. It's all green. A lot of filters there, because real life is not that green. But it's interesting. Yeah, I like this.
To be fair, I think that's mostly when they're in the Matrix. When they're outside of the Matrix.
Oh, just inside, yes.
Stick, yeah. So that it actually enhances the idea that this isn't reality that they're in.
Yeah, the whole green thing used overall in the movie is is a good artistic choice, in my opinion. Let's see if I overlay this instead of normal, overlay, normal, overlay. I like the overlay, a little more punch. Yeah, just a little. Yeah, I kind of like this more than previous. This is more natural, post-apocalyptic, hell, or twilight, hell twilight. You can kind of tell it's a photo filter, I guess, because everything is very uniform. Like it nonetheless. Yeah. You know what? I might actually start doing something new since this one is basically finished. Or I could check. I could even check how it would look on a card. Like if I give it a 4x3 ish. I think. Are they 4x3? Let me check this one. What? What is that? Oh, this is the wing. No. Oh, there you go. So this is one of the cards I had here while working. And the format here is, yeah, like roughly 4x3 or 5x4, 5x4-ish. 5x4-ish. Let's see how it would look. Obviously it's a vertical picture, so it's not necessarily gonna work, but what if I add here you go. You can move the frame around a little bit.
It's always got to be rough, like making a full body art card and then figuring out what part you're going to cut off for the frame.
Yeah. So yeah, if this was a magic card, it would have to fit in this sort of ratio.
Right.
Roughly. Which is obviously not meant to, so it looks weird, like the pincer obviously is going down. Or it could be square like Yu-Gi-Oh card, which would make a little more sense probably. Something like this. Or I don't know. It didn't really think it as a card. Although the style is cardish. I'll just leave it as it is. I actually have a sketch that I might open up since we got 15 minutes left, which is not a kaiju. So how many days do I have left to stream? Here, at least, in theory. Okay, considering, okay, it's got tomorrow, Saturday, probably gonna do that interesting new wacky challenge. So it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days, because they first probably gonna do the review of the entries for the monthly challenge. So roughly 10 days. There could be space for a monster. Like to start.
Oh. When are you leaving?
The 2nd, February 2nd.
2nd, okay.
Technically, if nothing weird happens. I do have a lot of sketches, also including, you know, the ones we made during the various wacky challenges that I might actually turn into a monster. Let me see. Aloes Node, that's the monster. So I think, is it this one? So yesterday, I think I started, yeah, I kind of started working on this it was with the not Clip Studio, with Painter though. This is one of the sketches that I had done last summer. The colors are very generic, obviously, still. I was just trying out some brushes. Or figures cube. We can do some figures even. Sketching. I don't know if there's anything embarrassing here now. What should I do? No, let's see. Let's try. Okay, it's Batman. Very bad Batman. What else do I have? Very bad Batman. Square. Wacky. Minor toys. Oh, exercises. Wacky 13. Okay, this is bad. These are bad batches, so probably not. I mean, I could do Batman, and not this Batman though, because this is bad. So not bad, but bad. This is Batman, not bad Batman. Cubes, probably not. Figures. Yeah, I'm thinking I might actually do figures for a while, just for a change, instead of just always doing monsters. I realize technically this is a monsters or creatures stream or channel. Sketching here. What is? Oh, more figures, copies, exercises. Super useful exercises, by the way. Just boxes with the computer. It's some sort of computer and a person sitting there. Where did I copy this? Interesting. Probably nothing interesting here. Marine reptile, no. Cockatrice. Oh, I could continue the cockatrice. Where is it? Here. This was the cockatrice that I had done for the challenge that I never finished. I mean, it's still a monster. I can just keep working on this for now. We've got almost some 10 minutes left, so why not? Not the greatest composition, I admit. This was more of a sketch that I decided to take to a bit of a more finished stage, but still very sketchy. Oh, how do you feel when drawing from imagination? Panicking. Like, sometimes I just don't know what to do. So I try to use reference as much as possible. Because it's not easy for me. No,
Especially when you're on a live stream and many people are watching and critiquing you.
Well, judging you mostly, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I hate sniffling. Damn winter. It's very cold here. Like very, very cold. Or very cold for these latitudes at least, and longitudes. We were around just a couple degrees above 0 Celsius today. So that is not much.
Yeah, it's very rainy here today, but it's not that cold out.
At least. Here it is. Well, it was not raining. I think it rained last night. But not today. I don't know. I will think about either. Well, it's Kaiju month, so I can make another Kaiju. Maybe in the old style, though. I don't know. Or a hybrid. Like, it's going to be a creature, not a scene. Like a single creature, not a scene. And it's going to be more finished, like this Kaiju. It should not take 10 days. Probably. 2 years later. I do, again, I have a lot of things to finish. All of those monsters that are potentially good monsters, even for packs, technically. And some of the wacky ones, the Raptor illustration, that's a good one that I could work on. Actually, might. We'll see what Samu says about his proposal, because I don't know if he wants to go through with it. Art is type of philosophy we have in life, in a sense. Limiting the limitless. Well, I guess you could say that. It is hard to draw from imagination. In any case, it gets easier as you do it. but it never gets easy. Depends on the day also. Some days it might just be very, very bad. And some others definitely easier, so.
Well, I definitely agree with the notion that art is more of a philosophical idea than art is the specific medium and that art is
Yeah.
the specific medium and so forth.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, because it usually, I would say it should, if not does, encompass several aspects of your life. Like, it's not that you are doing it and then you behave completely different in all the other aspects of your life. It tends to bleed over to other things. At least that's what happens with me. And that's why I simply cannot just do an office job, because I would get bored. Like, very, very bored. It's definitely an attitude one has towards things, towards wanting to make the new things more interesting. So yes, I don't like this cockatrice, especially the color. Like, what the hell? Why is it blue? I don't know what I was thinking here. You know, this is a good opportunity to use the gradient map. Actually, this is a very good opportunity. No, well, this is not a gradient. Even this could be better. Let's try the others. Could just leave it in black and white. This would be perfect for this sort of picture. Even this. I should probably leave it as a black and white thing. Or this. No, not this. Fire one, no. But this is actually interesting.
I think you made it blue because you didn't want it to make it like white and red, because that's kind of typical.
Yeah, I didn't want to make it white and red because it was a chicken, you know, classic.
Yeah.
Or hen looking, so not as in Japanese word for saying strange, but just hen. A garden chicken. So what if I invert it? Color here. It's green. Probably not. Although it looks less bad than the blue one, I guess. And I'm really not happy with the tail. Like, the tail would need, I would have to, yeah, what? Not good. I would have to probably, so this is how I would go about fixing something that I made. Like, this tail would probably have to come over here, something like that. But even so, it still looks pretty bad. The actual tail, I think, needs to just go in a completely different direction. Yeah, I don't actually like that overall. I would have to either get rid of it completely, which might be a better option in this case, because I don't see it going anywhere. And just leave some little furry feathers here. Maybe increase the number of red feathers and make this bigger.
Well, hopefully you finish it, because my wheelers need an enemy to fight.
This?
Yeah. The Gnome King does not allow chickens in Oz.
Oh. I can make an actual cockatrice as a monster. Indeed. But yeah, I think like this is already a little better. I know it's kind of wacky. certainly is very random. Well, hello, Kim on YouTube. What are you doing on YouTube, Kim? It's a cocky bird.
She's channeling Fiddle, who usually appears on YouTube, but sometimes on Twitch.
True.
And now she's on Twitch.
You are confusing me. Yeah, it's way better without the tail. That tail looks completely off. Way better. How would you change it, Chase?
You mean
What would
between
you
the
do?
tails?
Yeah,
Or-
tail, or how would you change the picture overall? Because clearly this is not a good picture. Because it was a random sketch that I decided to finish. So how would you change it overall?
I just, I don't think it's bad. I just think it's a very.
Oh no, wait, you got muted. Okay, can you say it now?
Okay. Yeah, so I was saying that I think what makes it look strange is the angle and the way it's positioned, because it's hunched over, right? And it's hunched down looking at the eggs. And that's a very awkward angle to draw something at, especially when you're doing it front facing like this. So I don't know. I mean, I like this version of the tail more than the actual physical tail that it had before. I like the plumage, but
Yeah, it's got an odd
anything.
angle.
Yeah. I think it's just the way that the neck is craned. It might be interesting if you changed the neck and had it facing the other way, like almost in a defensive position.
Let's try. Got a few minutes left. Fortunately, it's digital, so. Okay, it's gonna have two heads for a while. I'll give that. Could even look up. just flipping it would be something like that, and then going over, getting rid of it here, butchering the picture. Yes, let's do this. There you go.
Oh, see you, student.
All right, student. Good night. This is how it would be on the other side, more or less. Or even more. Look it up. That's more of an aggressive pose, though, probably.
Yeah, it just depends on what you're going for.
Yeah, well, whatever. I don't know. Not gonna work. It's a bad picture, badly conceived. So that's why you have to try to make the best out of the first sketches and make thumbnails, which I did not do for this. Anyway, I'm gonna figure out what I can do for tomorrow. Maybe I will just start working on some random monster, like the crag maw. I don't know, something like that. Maybe I will do a hybrid. I will start with the Psy version and then continue in a slightly more rendered pose, because I've been wanting to try that. Or I can do some animal studies or figures even, or like anatomy or something like that. I don't know. I will see. So thanks everybody for joining us in this long haul, long kaiju stream. I appreciate your presence. I'm gonna post this in the Discord later, if I remember, and probably also my portfolio. So if you want to check out the full size version, you can. We're gonna be back tomorrow, and then Saturday for the wacky challenge. And until then, you guys have a good one, and you take care.